Hey there folks, welcome you all to yet another podcast of mine. I'm coming to you on a Saturday this week, people. Yes, I am. There's a reason for it, to be fair. I had things I had to do today, so I took it easy last night and had a bit of a quiet one. I had a chap coming to fix a window in this very room, as it happens. But this little studio of mine, for those who don't know, this little studio of mine is actually one half of my spare room. So on this side that you can't see, there is a bed, and well, a double bed and drawers and such like. And on this side is where I do this, and I also do my day job, which is a programmer and web developer and such like. So, you know, I do, when things are normal in the world, I sometimes go in on site to work and work there. But predominantly I work from home. And in fact, I worked before all of this lockdown happened. I actually, although I'm in Blackpool now, I actually still worked for the same company from Edinburgh for a whole year and worked entirely remotely. So this whole working from home thing is not new to me, people. I've been doing it. I've been in lockdown for years. So anyway, this room in particular had when I bought this house, I got all of the windows and the front door and everything all double glazed and sorted out. But the two windows at the back, the bathroom and this one, were already double glazed from ages and ages ago. But this particular window, the hinge had obviously gone just wear and tear, and it was letting cold air in. I just kind of live with it because, you know, Aaron Brew obviously comes and visits from time to time, but it doesn't really bother him because he's from Scotland. He's of stern stuff. So... well, I'm from Scotland as well, to be fair. But he lives there, so, you know, temperature difference for him, you know, that's probably tropical, even with the breeze. So I never got around to doing it. But because I now work here from home, facing the window, and I used to work downstairs on the beanbag, but things changed and I decided to work up here now that it was full time from home. So I've got a nice bright window in front of me and all this sort of stuff. Just looking outside, it's a bit nicer, a bit more pleasant, better for the mind, people. So if you're going to work from home, try not work in a dark room or somewhere where you can't see outside and, you know, see a bit of life. It's not very good for the soul. So anyway, so with that in mind, I got the chap back who fitted all those windows for me all those years back. Well, say all those years, it was, 3 years ago? And he came today to fix the hinge, and it's now awesome. Not a breeze in sight, people, so it's going to be nice and snug this winter. And I've got the boiler chap hopefully coming next week to do the yearly service on the boiler, which was skipped last year for a number of reasons. And... yeah, so that needs done, and then that'll be me all cozied up for winter. But anyway, that was a long story to tell you why I decided not to do a vlog last night. So I saved my tipples for this evening. But that led into, because I thought, well, I've got to be up early. Chap's coming round. And I really wanted to get the house all sorted out before the new gen consoles arrive. So I've got another week left before the Xbox Series X is arriving, people. And then we've got another week after that. And the PlayStation 5 is arriving. I mean, Jesus Christ, people. I couldn't be more excited, I tell you. But I wanted to gut the house down before all of that happened. I like my shiz to be shiny, people, you know what I mean? So I thought, this is it. This is my time, right? And I've been meaning to mop the kitchen floor and all sorts. So anyway, what was meant to be gutting the kitchen out turned into gutting the whole house out. I've been gutting this house, cleaning it, all the pink jobs, all the blue jobs, because I live on my own. And I'm absolutely knackered. I'm convinced that cleaners must be the fittest people on the planet. My God. I mean, it's just like, you know, not that I've not cleaned my house before, but I'm knackered, people. And yeah, I'm delighted though. Everything's nice and shiny and clean. And that's been my day. I'm absolutely exhausted, people. Good grief. I'm going to have a sip of this before we get going. We do have topics of games to talk about, people. And I don't know how long this podcast is going to be, because it's kind of a mishmash again of things that I want to talk about, predominantly about what I'm going to be doing when the consoles arrive, in particularly for you guys with regards to recordings and what I'm hoping to share. I did talk a little bit about it last week, but I want some feedback from you guys as to what you might like to see me do on that front as well. So we'll be talking about that. So we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We've got this week, which we've just been talking about. I'll be talking about the videos I'll be posting up this week. Then we're going to be talking about the plans for my next gen recording and what I'm going to be doing when the new consoles arrive. And I'm going to be touching upon a little bit of Watch Dogs, little bit of Xbox news and some PlayStation 5 feedback on the DualSense and 3D headsets and such like. So it's a mishmash of things. It's not really, solid topics. It's just one thing rolling into another and chatting about next gen. I apologise in advance that you're seeing the same images behind me from last week, but that's just the nature of me having cleaned all day. I couldn't go off and find more images. To be fair, we're going to be talking about much of the same stuff. Well, not the same stuff, but around the same topics, which is next gen, which is all of those images behind me. So they still fit this podcast. So I think I just said vlog again earlier, but never mind. Anyway, should we crack in? I'm going to have another sip of this. Oh, blimey, people. I tell you, this is well earned today. This is flip in heck fire. I nearly got myself a cleaner recently because it's a big house for one person to sort of keep up on their own. So I was kind of hoping that I could get somebody in just once a month for a couple of hours to do key bits and I would just maintain the rest. But I couldn't, the girl was so busy that I couldn't get her. And I don't want to have just anyone. I want to have someone that's kind of recommended or, So I'll hold off again. But, that might save me the heart, save me the pain in the future if I can manage to get on her calendar or something. But anyway, flagging's up to you all. I'm going to stop talking about cleaning now. As it happens, I'm recording this at, I think it's around 4:30 or something. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Boris Johnson, is about to do an announcement at 5:00, which I'll be doing. I'll still be talking on air by that point. But he's about to announce that we're going into a full lockdown for November by the sounds of it. With the exception of, I think we're probably going to leave schools and colleges open, hopefully, because I work for a college. So, not that would mean I'm out of work or anything. It would just be a big hit to the students. So we really don't want to see that happen. And plus, they're confined, really. The limitation will be, certainly for our on-site students, that they stay within the campus and don't go wandering about too much. And the ones that travel to college, well, it is what it is. They just need to travel and keep themselves contained while they do so. But I think that's what this is about to happen. I'm guessing a little bit, but everything is telling us that it looks like we're about to go into a national lockdown for the month of November. And I think they're doing it now. And I predicted this about a week or two ago, that they were holding off as much as they could so that they could do this lockdown, a nice big lockdown, before Christmas kicks in. And then we can ease it up for Christmas so people can maybe share Christmas with families and stuff. So I'm not against it as such. It just means that I'm a bit miffed that all the gym work I've been doing, is gonna, well, I need to make sure it doesn't go down the toilet. What I can do is I've got 2 dumbbells of 10 kilograms a piece, I think they add up to. So I can maintain what I've got with those two dumbbells effectively. What I might do is buy a fold up workout bench from Amazon and get that delivered, and then I can put that in the kitchen and do my 3 workouts a week that I was doing down there. I thinking about it, I can cover if I've got a bench, I can pretty much cover every exercise I was doing apart from pull-ups. So everything to do with that kind of part of the body would just need to be press-ups, and I think I can pretty well maintain myself that way. Obviously I'll miss being around people, but I really don't want to lose all the work I've done at the gym. And now that my leg's better, I can go running again, so I can mix all that up. So I'm not, I'm a little bit gutted, but it's not the end of the world. And plus, with the 2 new consoles arriving, a lockdown's probably the best thing that can happen, really, because I've taken the 2 weeks off anyway when the consoles arrive, so I will be locked down. I'll only be leaving for food and drink anyway, which is the one thing we're allowed to leave the house for. So there you are. Flagging's up to you all, people. Let's get on with it, shall we? Oh my goodness me, I'm going to double dip again, people. Right, let us crack in. So this week I've been recording, as you'll have seen, people, I've been hammering them up every day. And this is curious. I've actually got some notes for the end of this, but I'm going to schmelt it with now. It's a curious one because I mentioned last week that tons of people over the months and more than a year that I've not really been doing regular Let's Plays and just been doing podcast type stuff, that a lot of people were saying, please can you do the Let's Play stuff again, because that's why we joined the channel or subbed the channel. So I won't go over the ground that I went over last week, but for long. But when I bought recently the new 4K capture device, which allows me to view it in 4K but record for you guys at 1080p 60, and it can record at 4K, but that's a story I've already told. And I won't be recording in 4K at the minute for a number of reasons. But 1080p, 60 frames per second, and I can view it in 4K, even though you're only going to get it in 1080p when I post it up. That makes the world of difference to me, because that means I'm seeing the game in all of its glory. And it can actually, I can view it in up to 4K 60 as well. So, you know, it's doing everything I want it to do. And that's made it far more enjoyable for me to sit down and play these games without feeling like I'm losing out on something because I'm recording. And, well, what's that been now? 2.5 weeks of me doing solid recordings for you guys. We've been getting through Wasteland 3, and I kicked off Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning again, which both of these games, I mean, I would like to carry these games over onto the Series X. But, you know, as we know, I've got games coming, and there's stuff I want to talk about around that. So these aren't Let's Plays that we're necessarily going to see finished on, you know, this Xbox One that I've got. And then we've got PS5 stuff that's going to be coming up as well. So I realise that I've been a bit one-sided on the Xbox One for a long time. And previous to that, it was one-sided on the PS4 Pro. But it's because I fell in love with the Xbox One X so much. I just loved the console, and I got so sick and tired of hearing the fans blowing like the clappers on the PS4 that I stopped buying games for it, apart from exclusives. And even then, I stopped playing Ghost of Tsushima because I thought I'd rather play Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5 when it comes out and really enjoy it with a nice quiet, you know, and it'll get a lift as well, because I think they were showing off how it looks on the PS5, and it's just spectacular. So I may well do some more of that on camera, on recorded for you guys. But we'll see how we go. But that won't be on day one. But it might be, depending on what we talk about in a bit, to be fair. So anyway, so I've really enjoyed getting back into the recording for you guys. I've been posting up one video at least every day. I think the only exception was Monday. And then you've had a video every day. I alternated it between a Wasteland, a Kingdoms of Amalur, a Wasteland, a Kingdoms of Amalur. But, I mean, I think on 3 of those days you got one video. And then on yesterday you got 2 because I wasn't doing my podcast. You got 2 videos today, a Wasteland and a Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. And you're getting the last one that I recorded, which is Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning Part 11, I think. And I've actually ended up in the Teeth of Naros, is it? I think it's called. And it seems to be a DLC that I never played, because I don't have any recollection of that section of the game at all. And it seems to be this extra element of the map down in the bottom left as well that I don't remember at all. So I just found myself playing it thinking, this feels like playing a new game, because I've never had any of this experience before. It was absolutely fantastic. I've still got bits of it to do. I've got a fair bit through it, but I've still got a bit of the Teeth of Naros to do yet. And I'm thoroughly enjoying Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. I really, really, really especially want to bring that over onto the Series X and then start comparing how it plays on the Series X to the One X. I am finding that the screen tearing is still there, and it's quite prolific in places, especially in the Teeth of Naros when you first go in. With all the floating stuff and everything, it's struggling with the panning around and stuff. So I'm hoping with the extra boost of the Series X that all gets smoothed over and it plays dead nice. And yeah, I mean, I love that game to bits. It's just, I really wish they could bring all those people back together again under a new studio that keeps it running right. But it's been bought over by someone else now, isn't it? So we'll see what happens with it. We're bound to get a sequel. They wouldn't buy the rights to it and then not make one, I guess. I just hope they can make it as well as they made the first one and get the same lore and music and storytelling and things to do as interesting as they got them in that one. So I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I hope you guys have been enjoying me throwing them up. The weird side effect of me posting all of these videos up for the last fortnight is that I have lost about 20 subscribers. And usually I see a couple of drops and then, 5 will sub, a couple of drops, another 5 will sub, and it keeps building. Ever since I started doing these Let's Plays again, it's like people must have the alerts on and they're getting these through and they're like, I don't want to watch that anymore for whatever reason. Or I don't know why I subbed that guy, I can't remember. Or, it could be a number of reasons. My personal opinion is that it's because everyone and their mother that's on YouTube that has a big channel with a lot of viewers has now got a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. And it's like what I'm doing is just not important anymore because I'm on the old consoles. And they're not even old consoles yet. So I think that's part of it. I think another part of it might be that it's just, they followed me because I did a stream once. They enjoyed it, but I don't stream now. So, it could be a number of reasons. But it just felt very odd that I suddenly, because if I hadn't posted up over the last 2 weeks, I guarantee you I wouldn't have lost those 20 people. So it's a very weird side effect to what I've been doing. That all said, I have seen people, like with every drop, there has been a couple back. So I really appreciate the people that I've been following from what I have been putting up. Clearly that they're enjoying what I'm doing, so that's great. I'm hoping what will happen is that when I finally get the new consoles in a week's time, well, one of them in a week, one of them in 2 weeks, that it will suddenly become, my channel will be relevant again because I'm playing on the hardware that people want to see me play on. And I get it. I wouldn't particularly go looking at someone's videos when they're sitting playing on Xbox One X anymore. It's like, well, I'd rather look at someone that's playing on the Series X or the PS5 to see what the differences are. I get it. It's fine. I wouldn't necessarily unsub somebody that wasn't that wasn't showing it yet, But anyway, a weird side effect nonetheless. Anyway, I've been loving recording the Let's Plays again. I still am. Still looking at doing a lot more. I'll probably do some more recording this week and post it up. I'm in two minds about it, so bear with me. If I don't post Let's Plays up this week, don't worry. It's only because I've decided that I'm going to hold off and wait for the Series X to arrive. I think it's a week on Tuesday that it arrives. I didn't check the day, actually, but I'm pretty sure that... Let's have a look. Should we have a look at the calendar, people? Might help us, mightn't it? Right, where's November? So the 10th, it's a Tuesday, yeah. So it'll be arriving at some point on that Tuesday. And, let's face it, I'm going to get that thing set up as quickly as I can and then start recording, and you'll get videos very quickly after that. So, super stoked, super stoked. So I hope you're enjoying the Let's Plays being back. I'm looking at doing a ton more, and we'll talk about on what in a minute when the new consoles arrive. And the Xbox Series X is coming first, so you'll get a week's worth of that stuff before the PS5 arrives. Then I'll take a little pause, start smacking into some PS5 stuff. So, where are we on the list, people? Plans for next gen. So here's what I've talked about already. I've already told you guys that I'm getting Demon's Souls for the PS5 on day one. And I didn't have anything for the Xbox Series X, but I decided I was going to go for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Good timing on the screenshot behind me. And I've suddenly got very stoked for that game because they keep talking about the fact that it's the closest one to an RPG they've ever made. They've got a lot of RPG elements in it, like building up your villages and all that sort of stuff, world stuff, which I'm really keen to try out. So it'll live or die on, loot. RPGs for me have great loot systems. They have in-world stuff that you can kind of upgrade with as well. They have great story content for side missions rather than generics. They have a great combat system. They have a terrific loot system, an armor system, weapons system, that sort of stuff. Always make it exciting when you pick something up, and a lot of RPGs that I like haven't nailed it. They've not nailed it. I'd love a proper full-on RPG that has the kind of pickups that something like Diablo has. You know what I mean? Like the amount of pickups that game has. Like you don't have anything on for more than like 10 minutes. It's a bit of an over exaggeration there, but you know what I mean though. It's like the loot system is so good, and it seems that level of loot system I've never seen anything quite as heavy as that in a big proper third-person RPG or first-person RPG. Even, they always kind of seem to go, we'll not have a lot of loot. What we'll do is we'll give them an armor blacksmithing system where they, or sorry, a blacksmithing system where they can make weapons and armor, but they become very generic. Like, you can't make anything particularly spectacular that nobody else can make. So I love it. I mean, I love the fact that The Witcher 3 had a system where you didn't have to go looking for it, but the best armor sets, you had to go looking for them around the world and find them. And then when you did find them, you could use all of the guff stuff that you thought you were just collecting for no purpose. All of that stuff from killing animals and enemies, and all of that stuff is used to upgrade your weapons and armor and put, specific things on them that are awesome. It was a great system. I can't remember how good the pickups were all the time. There was a lot of gunk in that game that you didn't need. It was just sell it on sort of stuff. But terrific though. Really, really good. So when it comes to next gen, the 2 day, I got sidetracked there because of Valhalla being an RPG. So I've got those 2 day one releases, right? And you will be getting, I don't know how popular, I know Demon Souls will be popular to a degree, because I know a lot of you like seeing me play Dark Souls and Bloodborne. So Demon Souls will be popular, but bear in mind that I'll be getting it after a gazillion Americans who get the PlayStation 5 a week before we do. So I know that I'm not even going to be in the running for people watching Demon Souls on my channel. So it'll be for you guys who follow me and want to see me do that sort of stuff, because it's me. And that's fine. And I'm really looking forward to playing it and sharing my experience with it. I'm really looking forward to trying it out with the 3D headset, because I've bought that as well, with the DualSense controller. And I'm super stoked for it. But here's the thing. I want to get, especially with the Series X, right? And we can do it with the PS5 if you want me to as well. And if we do this, I might try and extend my holiday, because I've got loads of time to catch up with. But I'd like to spend time also with some of the stuff that they are saying is back compat that will play so much better on the Series X or the PS5. Well, they're being a bit more hush about it on the PS5, but the Series X, certainly they're saying all this stuff will just be a lot better, a lot smoother, blah, blah, blah. So I'm really, really interested in trying out RPGs that you guys would like to see, not necessarily a whole playthrough of, but let me know in the comments below what, because I've got pretty much every RPG in my library that you guys would be interested in. So let me know in the comments below as to what RPGs you would like to see me at least. I mean, I'm definitely going to do a playthrough of Witcher 3, because I got it on the Xbox One X and I've not played it yet, because I played it on the channel when I first started doing that sort of stuff. And I wasn't like I am now. I wasn't as comfortable on the microphone. I wasn't kind of naturally myself like I am now. It was that building up to being better at it kind of time. So I'd like to be able to take that away and do a full, that was on the PS4, I think, before I got the Pro. And I'd like to be able to do a proper playthrough of it on now the Series X. As time went on with the One X, I thought I might save it for Series X. Now, the thing with Witcher 3 is we could try it out, but they are doing a patch for the next gen. And it's whether or not we wait for that patch. We could start it without the patch and see just how well it plays without the patch. Because on the Series X, a lot of the games will immediately just tap into the extra power that's there and just play smoother. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays anyway. And then we could, once the patch comes in, and it's for free patch as well from CD Projekt Red, God bless them, awesome. Once the patch comes in, I can then just title it as patch blah, and then patched or whatever for Series X, and then we carry on with the playthrough. So we could do that. So let me know in the comments below about what from this gen you would like to see me fire onto the Xbox Series X or the PS5, because of my library's bounced between the two, and I'd like to see how both of them cope with them. I mean, I've jotted down, for example, and this is just examples, Fallout 4, Witcher 3, Skyrim, Divinity 1 or 2. But I've got a ton of RPGs down there. So let me know in the comments below about what games you would like to see me show off and showcase right off the bat with these consoles, even without patches. Just see how well they run in comparison. And I will make it my mission when these arrive to put some footage up for you guys. And whichever one seems to be, or ones that seem to be the most popular, we can carry on the Let's Plays with and keep them going. So let me know in the comments below, people, because I'm super excited to try some of this stuff out. I'm not in a zone where I want to just, I'm leaving this gen behind. I want to get on with the new gen. I want to see some of this stuff that I love playing super well on this new stuff and re-experience it, because I haven't played it. You know, I've not played Witcher 3 twice. I've only played it once, and I still haven't finished Fallout 4. So, you know, I could do with finishing that bloody game. And Skyrim I've finished a couple of times, but still, you know, I realise that's going back 2 gens technically, but the remasters from this gen, so we can see how that runs. Still wasn't as smooth as you would like, that Skyrim game. It's gorgeous, but the remaster's still a bit sticky here and there, so it'd be nice to see how that runs on the new Series X as well, or the PS5. I think I've got the remaster of that for both. I'm pretty sure I've got Fallout 4 and Skyrim remastered for both consoles. So let me know in the comments below, people, even if it's one of the games I've not just mentioned there. That was just 4 I picked off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments below. So it turns out that this might be a slightly shorter podcast than usual, people, but there wasn't a massive amount of topic content that I wanted to fire into. It was really about talking about next gen and, you know, what I want to do with it. And plus, I like catching up with you guys, you know. This is my therapy for the week. It doesn't matter if it's an hour or, you know, 20 minutes. It's fine, you know. So it does feel like, at the moment, that every YouTuber and their mother, apart from me, because I'm just a little tiny channel that nobody cares about, has a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, which is great, and it's great to see them out in the wild. And the feedback's been awesome. I mean, with the Xbox Series X, it kind of is what it is. For me, it's a fantastically put together piece of hardware, and it's the most powerful of the two. We know that. But they haven't gone out of their way to make anything overly different, right? I feel like what I am getting is a super duper uber Xbox One X. That's what I feel like I'm getting. I'm just getting a far more uber version of what I've already got. The interface looks pretty much the same, and the controller has a share button on it, and they've refined it. I think it's a tiny weeny bit smaller, and they've put grips here and there, and they've taken bits from the Elite controller and put that in, you know, and they've made it, you know, refined it a little bit, but don't change what's not broken, sort of thing. Don't fix what's not broken. And that's fine. Absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Would I have liked them to come up with new cases for the games? Yeah. But all they've done is they've just, instead of Xbox One on them, it's just got Xbox. I was never a big fan of those cases. I always felt like there should have been a nice Xbox label down the left like there was on the 360. But, you know, hey-ho, it is what it is. It's fine. And by the same token, I don't think PlayStation really thought through going white with their labels. They've kept the blue on the box, but they've now got a white label on the top rather than the, what was it on the ones we've got? It must have been blue anyway. And it's fine as a box, but when you see it on websites, just about every website, it's got a white background, so it just looks weird. It looks like part of the image is missing. So that weren't thought through either. But anyway, the feedback coming back from both of these consoles is nothing but good. I mean, I haven't heard any negatives at all about the new consoles whatsoever. And the PlayStation, both of them are super quiet. Both of them are super powerful. Both of them are just, you know, I mean, if anything, PlayStation 5 is probably the one that's giving people a new experience they've not felt before, because the DualSense controller is really hitting home with people. They're really loving it. Until you actually feel what's happening, you don't really get how much it's impacting what you're playing. The big thing about the DualSense is it's whether or not the developers make use of it. Like, it's great that it's there, and it's great that this the thingy Playroom, I forget the whole name of it, but the Playroom software that's on it, which is a game that you get free with the console, shows off all of it, and that's why it's there. It's showing off all the features of it. So if all the developers of the big titles use those facilities that are in that controller, and it's easy to put them in, it's going to be fantastic. But the third part, the first party studios are definitely going to do it. So your first party stuff's going to be awesome. And they said even on top of that, if you're using that with the 3D audio as well, the whole thing just comes together in an experience that you've not felt before. And that's exactly why I decided to buy the 3D headset, because I really want to experience this whole new experience that they've brought us that we've not had in the old system. I want to feel the whole dynamic of the whole thing, everything new they've brought, if you like, all happening at the same time. I don't know, but I hope Demon's Souls has built all of that in. I mean, it's crazy if it hasn't. I mean, it's a massive showcase of a new gen game. So if they haven't built in DualSense stuff into that, specific to DualSense and 3D sound, then that's just mental. I haven't heard anything to say whether they have or haven't, but that could just be me not having paid attention. If somebody knows the answer to that, let me know in the comments below if you know for a fact that they've got DualSense stuff and 3D stuff happening, 3D sound stuff happening in that. I'm so excited for it, people. I really am. And I'm more excited about this gen's hardware than I was about last gen's hardware, and less excited at the moment about less excited about the games on day one, because there isn't that many. Like, I had so many options last time between the two consoles of what I didn't know what to play first. I mean, to some extent, it's probably a good thing, really, because I do want to try out all of this stuff that I still have and see just how much better it plays on the new consoles. That was something we couldn't do last time. So I'm really excited about trying all that stuff. So I'm actually not disappointed there's not a lot of new titles, because I want to try all that stuff out and share it with you guys to see how it plays. So I'm really, really enjoying watching what the feedback is on the people that have got these consoles already, and telling us just how good it all feels and plays. There's a very weird restriction that PlayStation have got on. I mean, Xbox has been a bit odd as well. It's like they give them and they say, well, there's an embargo. It's a step-by-step embargo, so you can only show this stuff up until this date, and then after that date, you can talk about this. After that date, you can talk about... It's like, for the love of God, like, you've already sold out. It doesn't matter, does it? People aren't going to cancel because they say something negative about your console. I wouldn't worry about it, you know what I mean? Anywho, everything coming back is so positive. It's just really, really exciting. I'm going to buy... I've got the 3D headset coming. Oh, here's a question. Somebody tell me what a great equivalent pair of headphones is for the Xbox. Go with, I'm getting the 3D audio ones. What's from the PlayStation official ones, I'm getting the 3D audio ones. What's a great... Because Microsoft don't seem to be making their own. And there's so many different ones out there, and some of them just look spectacular. What I want is something that's really comfortable. If possible, around the ear, but a material around the ear rather than a fake leather around the ear, which is what I've got now, because that gets really horrible and sort of clammy when you're playing for a long time. Not too heavy as well would be nice, but I want recommendations of headphones for the Xbox Series X. The USB dongle will go into, and I assume, and then the headset will just work from that. And I'm going to get myself a little headphone stand where I can hang both of them on and have next to me. So I don't want something, I want something nice and comfortable that's going to give me a great sound experience for the Xbox Series X. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. It'd be much appreciated, because I'm starting to look at headphones for it. I think I'm going to just invest in a nice pair of headphones for the Series X as well. And that'll be me covered for the whatever Let's Plays I'm doing for you guys. That'll be me covered for playing the games. It'll be the 3D audio one for the PlayStation 5, and it'll be whatever you guys recommend and I decide to go for on the PlayStation, on the Xbox Series X front. So yeah, what else do we have, people? Oh yeah, so finally, Xbox have finally said, without question, all of the games that you play on Xbox One X, whether it be the back compat ones from the original Xbox, whether it be the back compat ones from the 360, whether it be the Xbox One games, or all of those games, they are saying will work on the Series X. They have tested them for hundreds and thousands of hours, basically. The equivalent What was it? It was Ryan McCaffrey on IGN said it was the equivalent in hours of 57 years worth of testing to make sure that all of those games would work on the Xbox Series X and Series S. So that is phenomenal. Like, you know what I mean? There's still weird things going on with Sony. They keep saying, well, there's this little list of games that don't work over here, but there's still weird things going on. Like Ubisoft have just started saying stuff about games that won't work on PS5, funnily in odd countries, but you know, there's still oddities with the PlayStation stuff. So the back compat there is still a little bit grey. The big stuff's going to be fine. You know, like I wouldn't worry about the big stuff, but you know, there are going to be, whether they fix them or do something to make them all right in the end, I don't know. Or whether they just go, they don't work and that's that. I've no idea. They're not very open about it. But for me, it doesn't really matter, because as long as one of those consoles is treating the back compat in that way, and we know all the first party stuff's going to be fine on PlayStation, so that's covered. As long as all third party stuff that's not exclusive to PlayStation is fine on another console, which is the Series X, then it's covered. So it's not a huge problem for me. But I'm absolutely delighted that they've now nailed that down and told everyone they all work. And that's that. It's fantastic. Honestly, like, the job that Phil Spencer has done in that company is nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, he has turned that product round to the point where it is on equal footing to the PlayStation 5 and can be a contender to it directly. And even beyond that, because he doesn't want to just be a contender for them, he wants to be a whole new thing, and it's him that's developed this whole new Games Pass, and you know, all of that work on Games Pass, Games Cloud being able to, or xCloud being able to play the games anywhere on your phone, on your, you know, any device, or on your PC. Like, it doesn't matter whether you've got an Xbox or not, you can play Xbox games anywhere and they're still making money. So, you know, that's going to get nothing but stronger. And it will become the game, well, it already is the game version of Netflix, effectively. Absolutely outstanding job he's done at that company. It really, really is. Considering how awful the Xbox One launch was and how badly that guy had dealt with Xbox. And I mean, he nearly killed it, the guy that before killed Phil Spencer. He really did. Really, really, really let the fans down and tried to do something awful with the Xbox, rather than understand that we're talking about games consoles, not, you know, we're not interested in entertainment. We're interested in playing games, people. So yeah, absolutely phenomenal job. Not only has he turned around over the course of that generation, he finally got the Xbox One X out, which was and still is the most powerful console until these ones technically release in a week's time. He also went far above and beyond that with the back compatibility, making sure that was going to be something they did in the future, designing the Series X for years and years, making sure they were going to be the most powerful console when the new consoles came, and then Games Pass as well on top of that, building it and making it something people just have to have. And it's just outstanding, absolutely outstanding. I hope that guy never leaves Xbox. I hope he's in charge of Xbox just forever, because he's just so good. That's how much I love that guy. You know, Sony have done as good a job with the PS5, so far as I can tell so far. So far as they're bringing us something special, and I'm sure it's going to be spectacular with the new stuff they're bringing us. It all looks really great. They've still got Mark Cerny behind the helm, pushing things the way that things should be going direction-wise. The guy in charge has been there a long, long time, you know. But since the last PS4, we've gone through 3 heads of PlayStation, I think now. The others left, not for any reason other than they just wanted to go and do something else. But they've still kept everything on track. But they don't have that sort of person that shines, you know, like Phil Spencer does, in my opinion. The guy, you rarely see the guy that's in charge of all of that stuff. Rarely see him. So, Phil Spencer seems to be everywhere, even in lockdown. He's everywhere, people. Everywhere. Anyway, that's it, people. If I talk for any longer, it's going to be utter nonsense. Nobody wants that, do they? You know what I mean? I have had a few of you say that what you would like me to do come the holiday time. Now, it is pretty obvious that we're still going to be in this state of pandemic to some degree. So I think movement in the Christmas holiday, and I've got an extended holiday at Christmas as well. So I couldn't do the. 2 years ago I did a live stream on New Year's Day. Was it New Year's Day? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was New Year's Day because it was the one day that everybody was off everywhere in the whole world, and that was the day that I went from like I don't know what it was. I was under 1,000, wasn't I, at the time? I was on like 700 subscribers or something, and that was the day that people just discovered me because I was there doing something on New Year's Day, and people just the whole world was just off looking for something to watch, and I went up to thousands within a very short space of time at that point. So somebody was saying anyway that they really enjoyed the stream stuff that I did in that particular holiday break, and a number of people have mentioned doing it. So I may well look at that for the holiday time. You know, whether it's New Year's Day, Christmas Day, whatever. I might do something stream wise. I still need to set up. I've got OBS set up and running again because I'm now recording with it anyway. So I just need to put all those little bits and bobs back that I had when I did it back then, because since then I deleted OBS because I had to rebuild the laptop. It's a long, boring story that I'm not going to tell. But I haven't got all the little bits like Streamlabs and stuff and all that stuff that I had built in at the time, which was quite funky. So I might try and piece all that together for that. And then, of course, I'll be streaming all the new gen stuff as well, which will be fantastic. Or from the new gen consoles anyway. So I'm really looking forward to the Christmas break. I'll give you some over there. I mean, there's no particular reason I couldn't stream in my holiday, but I think I'll keep it to recording for the first couple of weeks I've got the consoles, just so that I can enjoy the games and stuff as much as you guys do. It's interesting when you do a live stream because it becomes a bit less about the game and a bit more about communicating and having a good laugh sort of with the community, which is great, but it kind of takes away from the experience of a game, especially if you've not played it before. So yeah, I think I'll just keep that to recording. I'm really excited, guys. I'm really looking forward to bringing you a whole bunch of content in the coming months. I really am. You're going to be bombarded, so I hope you're ready. So there you are, folks. It has been... Remember, before I get going, let me know in the comments below, what do you want me to be playing from this gen on next gen to see how much better it plays. Remember, let me know in the comments below, giving me advice on the best headset for the Xbox Series X that's comfortable and light and really cool to use. Bluetooth, please. I don't want wired. I don't do wires, people. I want Bluetooth or dongled or whatever, but wireless. It has been an honour and a privilege serving for you in this podcast of mine, and I shall see you in the next one, folks. Take it easy. Bye.